Welcome back, my gardening friends. Well, the last time we looked in the carrot cage, this has been covered all well before we even started sowing seeds, and we pulled some nice carrots out for the show. We've got two in that hole, as you can see. One's grew all right, but the other one hasn't. I like to give my carrots lots of space, so there's the space, and well weeded if possible. But I'm looking like it's the carrots are coming out really nice again. Well, wrote that one off. Waste not, want not. It's well down. Oh, gum, that ground's hard down there, dry. That's not going to come out for a while. I'll just mark that. I'd like to clear some of this area. I'll take a nice straight line across. Again, some nice carrots. And then you get one. Now I sow 3 seeds per station, and then select the best one. Now if I normally cut them now, but if you get damage them or the actual taproot hits something, you end up with a carrot like that. So even I get the odd carrot that's not perfect. Now we've had a lot of rain, an awful lot of rain. I'll show you shortly, but rain's got to that one. It's tried to grow and it's split open. Nothing wrong with it. Just cut it up, cut it down. So out of all those that I've just pulled, that's not bad at all. I'll get this area tidied up, put those in the tray, and we're using the Cooljob gloves today, the waterproof ones, and it's keeping my hands warm and dry at the moment. So these were sown on the 8th of May, and they've done a good job, and each section was in blocks. In between the blue pipes was a section. I didn't date the rest, but I was hoping to get a successional cropping and for the show, but I won't be doing it for show carrots again, because I think you need to spend the money on the sand and the base and everything. But there's the little piece of carrot that's snapped off. A little bit too over eager. That's a nice little harvest there, and that's one section. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 more to harvest, and I'll show you how I overwinter my carrots in a future video. So if you wish to consider subscribing so you don't miss any of my future updates. Let's move on to my the parsnips. I did pull 2 of the parsnips out for the show. Didn't need them because my long roots did okay, and when I was here earlier I have noticed that we've got a bit of a hole. Looks like the mice have moved in. So a bit of a disturbance. Every time I go by now I'll just give it a good knock and hopefully they'll move out. But this parsnip's grew since I last looked. Push down and twist. Now you're going to say from there onwards isn't any good, but you can see it's gone right down to the bottom, hit the bottom where the crowbar, and that's been picking up all the nutrients that have flowed from everywhere. That's what root crops do. They fetch the nutrients other crops can't get at. So yeah, there's a bit of a mark on there, but they all scrub off. I did forget to mention, when you actually harvest your carrots in a raised bed, always leave the carrot tops on the floor. then if the carrot flies about, he'll go to the smelly bit of the carrot on the floor and hopefully won't get into your bed. We'll move along one. But all this rain's not doing anything any good. And again, a bit of canker on the top there, and again it's made it all the way down, and I don't worry about letting the parsnips get a good frost. I find the Gladiator F1 a nice sweet parsnip anyway, and even if it's had a frost, I can't really tell the difference. But you can pop these into the freezer for a short while just to break the old parsnip down, to give you that true parsnip flavour. But not bad. Not going to dig any more. Again, I'll show you later on how I store these over the real cold parts of the winter here in the UK. We'll pop these into the tray, and we'll move on to the next vegetable we're going to harvest today. The Swede, the American purple top I had sent me, very little growth on those at the minute. Whitefly are not helping. We have got one or two growing at the moment. I might pick the best one before they stop growing completely. And then we've got the Petrowski turnip, something different. This top has just started to rot off, so we'll have that one, and I believe there's another one here somewhere. So we'll pop those into the tray, ready for washing. We've popped one of those Swedes in. Make a cracking stew out of this lot. The Brussels sprouts have really suffered. Need to start taking a few more of these dead leaves off. And that will then reveal some nice Brussels. Saving some of the better ones for Christmas Day, but I've got to get the claret sprouting broccoli staked up, and I'll keep shaking these each time I pass, depending on the wind direction. But people have said to me, what are these white things flying about in their gardens? They're even flying about now in people's gardens because there's so many of them. But let's get a few Brussels, and then we might be able to open this area up, ready to get those that broccoli staked up. So we've got a few scrawny sprouts. These are the Crispus F1. Really struggled this time, but just one thing to check, just to see if you've got any club root, which is massive like tumours on the bottom of the roots, which restrict the plant from taking up any more nutrients, and they're club root free. So hopefully this bed will be good, and we won't have to chuck so much lime on it next time. Not the biggest or the best, but I will diligently clean those up, and we can have those on our Sunday dinner. I had a big tidy up of the red cabbage, pulled a load of leaves off, and we'll see if we can find something in there, something nice for my lunchbox. I do like red cabbage raw. So we have to be grateful for what we can get. There's that red cabbage. I've not tried that variety before, some of the Swiss chard, and I think possibly the last two are the onions. I think that's the Nugent on the left and the red, long red Florence shallot. Obviously the damp conditions, now I've stored them, they've started to go a bit mouldy. Let's go and do a potato reveal now. Let's see what we've got there. And just to say how much rain we've had, that bucket's half full. That's probably over the last month. So this is where I've kept my potatoes. I leave them in the buckets until I need them. Let's have a look, see what we've still got left. So in the square pots, we've got the Kestrel, Picasso, Sarpo Mira. That's my own seed from the seed pods that I did many years ago. Another one, another Kestrel, Living Green compost. That's the seed compost with my rockets. My homemade compost with the Charlotte. Homemade compost with the Marfona. Some pink fir apple we sowed in March. My Sarpo again, sowed in March again. And then the Sarpo Mira that I didn't harvest from 2021, might be worth just dropping that out, seeing what we've got. Living Green salad and veg with a rocket. Living Green peat-free rocket. Homemade compost rocket. And homemade compost pink fir apple. They should last us well into the new year with the Christmas potatoes that we've got growing. Normally I'd be planting potatoes again. Some of the stores had got the Christmas potatoes at £1 a packet, but they'd near enough spent out. So I'm going to select one of the Living Green compost and my homemade compost with the rockets, and see what difference there is between my homemade and shop bought. So we'll start off with the Living Green peat free with the rockets. I'm not sure how many potatoes, but I think I pretty well have put even amounts in. I like to keep the compost, hello potatoes, moist, damp but not wet, and definitely not dry, because if you're storing the potatoes in dry compost, the potatoes will physically dry out, but they're a lovely size for us. And we'll see what we get from these. Look nice and clean. We'll find out shortly once notice the Living Green compost still got a lot of manure and stuff in it, but we'll see how things grow from it. I've still got a few bags left. There's one seed potato. I'd have to look back to see how many potatoes I did put in. Number 2 by the look of it. I'll check in a bit, but that's those. I'll get those washed as I will with the other vegetables we've just harvested. And this is the homemade compost. Basically I've got some homemade compost left, some potatoes, so we we just got them planted. I'm surprised now you get down the potatoes and how prices are going up. It's well worth getting the catch crops as and when we can. Like I said, with my homemade compost, don't always get a great return, but it doesn't cost me nothing. I've had these rocket potatoes now for years and years and years. I keep saving them. See, lots and lots of small ones. They probably haven't got enough nutrients, but I don't add nothing to it. Just the homemade compost. In the future, I can make sure I keep adding different bits to it via the liquid plant foods on a regular basis instead of just an ad hoc when I remember. There's going to be a few small ones in there. I'm going to have to hunt those out. So that's my homemade, and that's the living green compost, and you can see the difference. But if you've got to pay for it, then I'd rather have a few less potatoes, but no doubt the quality is good as well. And as you can see, before we get washing the vegetables, we've had a hell of a lot of rain. All my tanks are full now. They've all been topped up. That's full to the brim. So, reasonably happy with that. Actually, very happy. Yeah, we have got the split ones, and we have got some with the carrot root fly. They've still got in. The dangers of netting are trapping the carrot root fly within the net if they're already in the ground. I'll be planting and sowing in that same area, so hopefully none of those grubs have dropped into the soil, else if I trap the fly in again we'll have issues. But the rats didn't get them, that's the main thing. If you found this interesting, thumbs up, thumbs down. Please leave me a comment, and please consider subscribing and see what I get up to throughout the winter months on my allotments. Happy gardening to you all. Till next time, my friends. Ta-ra for now.